Elon Musk is selling Tesla stock. Yes, it is true. We just got documents here on exactly what Elon Musk is doing with Tesla stock. And so I thought in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on here, exactly how many shares Elon Musk is selling here. I want to give my perspective as somebody that's held this stock for a long, long time now. Like everybody's wondering, like, is Elon going to sell more shares? Do I think he's going to sell more shares? If he does, what does that do for the stock price? Does this change anything knowing that Elon Musk is selling shares now, or has sold shares? Does this do anything for Tesla's stock price moving forward? A lot of people are speculating that this is going to help Tesla go up now. Some people are speculating that this is going to help Tesla go down now. I want to give my perspective on that as well. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy this. As always, make sure you check out Hungry Bowl. There'll be a pinned comment down there to sign up for our email newsletter. It's absolutely free. If you didn't know, there's a Twitter debacle going on. I call it a debacle. It's a situation. Elon Musk is basically wants to buy the company, and it's been approved by Twitter's board, and it's a huge deal essentially. Okay, I mean, this is like a $44 billion deal roughly, and Twitter's supposed to be bought out at $54. That's why this stock price has gone up so much recently, because of basically Elon Musk buying that stake, and then the announcement coming out that he wants to buy this company essentially. Okay, now, this was a 38% premium over what the stock price was at. We'll see what ends up happening with this deal over time. It has to still get approved by, obviously, the government. And, Elon says the financing's all lined up and everything's good to go as far as that goes. But the deal still has to go through. I think it's important to understand, although the sides have agreed, it still has to go through. And I've seen deals fail before. I've seen a lot of deals fail before where, it's agreed upon between the different sides, and then it ends up getting shut down, like the financing doesn't happen, or the government shuts it down for some reason. So, you never know what could happen in these situations. So, don't think like this is a for sure done deal just because Elon's agreed and the Twitter board's agreed in this whole situation. Okay. But nonetheless, this is a huge distraction, obviously. And, some people are for this, and that's usually for social causes. I don't think anybody's, if you care about Tesla stock, or you care about Tesla, the company, I don't think you're necessarily for this. And the reason being is, at the end of the day, it's a distraction. It's a distraction for Elon. It's a distraction for, a lot of various things, right? And it's obviously causing problems with Tesla stock. Now, let's look at the document here that has been filed. So essentially, this is through the SEC, and what we're going to find here is Elon Musk sold a massive quantity of shares on the 26th. Okay, so a couple days ago, 109,000 shares there, 84,000, 86,000, 65,000, 30,000. I mean, look at these blocks of shares just sold. Absolutely incredible numbers, right? And I mean, Tesla's a very high price stock, so when you see something like 26,000 shares are disposed of, it's insane. Now, as far as pricing goes for these shares, it looks like pretty much all of them were in the 900s. Anywhere from like 933 on the high end to around 904 on the low end. And, all these were for $100-something million. It essentially looks like here. So pretty big numbers, and, just sold. And that's a lot of shares. And, all total, it adds up to several $1 billion worth of Tesla shares Elon Musk sold. Okay. Which is a massive number. And Elon owns a massive, he's owned a little over 20% of the entire Tesla company essentially. Okay, so that number is going to be less now. When you sell $4 billion worth of shares, it's going to be less. Now, we also don't know if he sold on the 27th and the 28th. We'll have to wait for that. We'll see what happens there, but he definitely sold several $1 billion there on the 26th. Okay, and what's very interesting about this is, if you go back essentially and you look at what happened on the 26th, Tesla stock, I don't want to say crashed, but baby fell off a cliff. So basically, the day before Elon started selling, the stock was over $1,000 a share, and then Elon just dumps those shares on the market, and that stock just tanks. I mean, absolutely tanks. And so this is obviously a situation here where Elon putting that much selling pressure on this stock, it just couldn't. There's no hope, when there's that much, you're talking about billions and billions of dollars of shares being dumped on the market all at the same time. There's just there's not enough buyers, especially in this sort of market right now. You got to understand, this is a sort of market right now that people are very timid to buy stocks right now. And I think that's very apparent to everybody that pays attention to the market and pays attention to what's going on, right? And so if you have Elon Musk go out there and sell $4 billion worth of shares in a day, it's going to tank Tesla stock. There's just not enough buyers to put the buying pressure up on the other side. And of course, there's going to be other people that always want to sell Tesla stock in a given day. And so for buyers to come in, essentially, you need the stock price to go much, much lower. And so that's how essentially you get that stock to sell off that dang hard in a given day. Is, you put that sort of selling pressure on, the buying pressure on the other side is just not strong enough to boost that stock price up. And so you have to keep kind of bidding, asking down for the shares. Okay. Now, in terms of Tesla stock, here's kind of the ugly part. It's down another 2.6% after hours. Now, a lot of folks thought, with this news coming out, maybe it would boost up Tesla stock, but so far, at least, it's not looking that way. We'll see, obviously, what happens, but so far, it does not look like that, right? Now, the important question folks are asking is, with this Elon Musk situation, is he going to sell more shares? Another 4 billion, and especially for people that get a little more caught up in the short-term stuff, they're like, is he going to sell more shares? And what he says is no further Tesla sales planned after today. Now, the interesting part of that is, and he posted this on this response on Twitter a few hours ago. He said no further Tesla sales planned after today. So the first thing I thought, I was like, okay, after today. So does that mean he was selling shares in the market on the 28th? And also, is he referring to today as being tomorrow, really, right? I sometimes think, like when it's nighttime, I'm already talking about the next day as today, essentially, right? And so a little bit of confusion there. And I actually I wasn't the only one confused. I got to give props to Mr. Kevin there. He said after today's filing or after 428, 3.1 million shares were all from 426. So yeah, I'm a little confused as well, of like when, what day are we talking here? Did he mean the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, the 29th? That's what I'm a little confused of. So we'll see what happens with that. But obviously, if he does drop a bunch more money, another few billion, it's going to put more selling pressure on Tesla. And there's no way that stock can recover, at least in that given day. There's just not that sort of buying pressure out there in the market right now, right? Now, I want to give my opinion in here in just a moment, but I want to kind of read you guys through some other folks' opinion, because I thought some of these opinions were, interesting. So this person here says, sweet, better than having you over leverage. So essentially with this Twitter situation is, when they were talking about him, leveraging against this Tesla stock to buy out Twitter, a lot of people were concerned, and I think for good reason they should be concerned, that if Tesla stock was to go down to certain prices, like, if Tesla stock went through a big fall, essentially, that Elon could have to be forced, kind of like a margin call, where you have to sell Tesla stock, which would dump more selling pressure on, let's say, Tesla stock in a given time period. So let's say Tesla went through a really tough time and stock's $400 a share, right? Well, if Elon's over leveraged in that situation, he could be technically forced to sell Tesla stock in a time period where Tesla stock's already getting killed. It would add insult to injury, essentially, the stock price, and it would get much uglier, much faster. And so, just as an individual, you don't want to get over leveraged in the market, right? Even if you're the world's richest man, you don't want to get over leveraged, because you could end up in a situation where, if things don't quite go your way, which we know in the stock market, the stock market's crazy, man. Tesla could be down 70% in the next 18 months. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. It could be up 70% in the next 18 months. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, the stock market, anything can happen. And I think in a year like this, we're learning that more than any time, right? Where you're seeing countless stocks just go down 60, 70, 80%. And you're seeing even a lot of big dog stocks that have just gotten absolutely decimated, right? And so to imagine Tesla like falls big is at least to me, is not out of the realm of possibility. And so if Elon was over leveraged, that could get really, really ugly, really, really fast, okay? No, I thought this was an interesting comment. It says, right here, selling Tesla to buy Twitter. Absolutely hate it. Sounds like something new Kathy would do. Wish you the best putting the dumpster fire out. This is a capital component, still leverage attached to it. And I definitely have heard some folks, basically saying, how could you sell Tesla stock to basically put that money in Twitter? Because that's essentially what is going on. Elon Musk sells, several $1 billion worth of Tesla stock, right? That money is going to fund this Twitter acquisition, right? And so I can definitely understand folks looking at that and be like, what? You'd rather put your money there? And it doesn't give the best vote of confidence for Tesla, because Elon Musk is a businessman at the end of the day. And I know he has, his missions and all those sorts of things, but he's a businessman. If you've tracked Elon Musk for the last 20 years, you know the dude's a businessman, okay? And so, some people look at this and you would rather have these billions of dollars in Twitter than Tesla, and it doesn't give the best vote of confidence to Tesla shareholders, right? It almost looks like, wow, you bailing on us? Do you think we're going to go down? Things like that, right? And obviously Elon Musk was one of the first on the recession train. I think it was December. He tweeted out that he expects a recession to come, this summer, or at the latest 2023, he said, okay? This is an interesting tweet I saw. It said, "You promised your money will go out of Tesla after everyone else. I'm disappointed." This is an old tweet from 2013. Somebody pulled up here and, basically said at this Tesla shareholder meeting that just as, my money was the first in, it'll be the last out. He said, that tweet's from 9 years ago. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. This one says, "Thanks for the reassurance, but why didn't you borrow against your stock instead of selling shares?" He could still be doing that. You remember, this is a massive acquisition, so I think that's important to understand. But there's definitely a lot of folks that are looking at it and they're like, why even sell any stock? But then once again, you kind of get into the leverage situation. Do you get over leveraged, right? Now, I definitely have some concerns about all this that I want to personally share, right? And part of it is things like this. This person says 426 is a day. We had a bloody 12% drop. Even though I try to convince myself this is, this is understandable, but for some reason my heart hurts. And here's the thing, okay? And once again, I've been, in the stock since 2018 is when I first started buying my first Tesla shares, okay? And bought obviously a lot of shares in 2019. And so it frustrates me to see a lot of different things going on. Elon's selling the share. Here's the thing with the Elon situation, right? First, he sold the shares for tax reasons. Okay, whatever. But then now he's selling these shares to put the money in Twitter, and Twitter of all companies. That's a tough part. It's like Twitter. Seriously, if it was something else, I don't know, Square, I would give him a pass. PayPal. Hey, maybe he wants to buy PayPal back. This stock's a lot cheaper. It's his old company, right? Companies like that you could really see, they got great futures in front of themselves. They have growth. They could game changers. You can almost give them a pass for some of those, but Twitter, come on, man. But the most concerning thing for me is not really Elon Musk. It's actually the people that gal there who get hurt by Tesla stock going down. And I look at the stock, and there's a very false assumption with Tesla stock. And the false assumption with Tesla stock is not that the stock's going to go up, because that's why most people buy it. They think Tesla's going to go up and become a $2 trillion company, a $5 trillion company, a $10 trillion company, and things like that. Fair, whatever. The thing that bothers me is how safe people think Tesla stock is. And I can tell you, Tesla's not the safest company in the world. It's held up really well because they had a massive back order of orders, and people with a lot of money have done really, really well. And so Tesla orders kind of went crazy, right? And so Tesla's now backfilling all those orders. But what people don't understand is that Tesla's one of those stocks that could fall 60, 70%. If the numbers just start not coming in, interest rates keep going up, and the orders just aren't there, because the economy is not in the best place, Tesla's going to be hurt in that situation. Their stock price is going to fall dramatically, and it'll be very, very dramatic. And you got to understand, when you're they're not $1 trillion company, they're under, but when you're a $1 trillion company, for Tesla to fall to 300 billion or 400 billion, this is not the craziest thing in the world to even imagine, especially for anybody that knows anything about valuations and stocks and things like that. And so it bothers me to see how many people are in Tesla stock that don't understand the risks of Tesla stock. And that's kind of the frustrating part for me, because, obviously Tesla's an exciting company and EV game changer and all those sorts of things. But I don't think a lot of people really understand the risk that comes with Tesla stock. And they see one of those bad days and they don't understand that Tesla could go through a 6, 12, 18-month span where the stock goes down. This is not the craziest stuff to imagine. And for a lot of us that are really in the market, really, really in the market, we understand that. And we get it, right? But for a lot of folks that are in Tesla stock, I don't think these folks really pay attention to the market like that. And I don't think they understand the risks they could be necessarily taking in this. And they're just kind of like, no, it went down 12%. Oh my gosh. And they don't realize, dude, that could be 12% plus 12% plus 12% plus 12%. And, that's the way the market, I don't care what stock it is. I've seen everything fall 50, 60%. Every great stock you possibly respect in today's market, all the big techs, I've seen all those stocks fall 40, 50, 60%. It's happened to all of them. Not one of them has made it through and not had some dramatic big falls. Every single one of them. Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, you go down the whole list. PayPal, Facebook, you go down the whole list. And you'll find nothing but a bunch of companies that went through several different time periods where their stocks fell 30, 40, 50, 60, 70%. And it's happened to Tesla a million times in the past, and it could easily happen again if we go into a recession or something like that. And so that's the most bothersome thing for me. And so for all you guys out there, I hope you understand always the risk you're taking in any stock, and that no stock comes risk-free, including Tesla stock. And I think that's the most important part to understand. And with the Elon Musk situation, who knows what's going to happen with that? It's a messy deal. It's a distraction. It's frustrating, I think, as a Tesla shareholder. And that will be what that's going to be. Twitter, I don't even get, I've never liked Twitter personally, so maybe I have a little agenda against it. I've never understood that whole thing. Who cares? Just come up with a better service. You don't like Twitter? Just create something better, man. Twitter is going to be what Twitter is going to be, and then if you try to change it to something else, the other people are just going to be frustrated. And a lot of people, it doesn't matter what Elon does with Twitter. I don't care. It's not like I got to get on Twitter. So, and I'm sure that's how a lot of other folks feel, right? And even the last president, he even said he was huge on Twitter. He even said if Elon buys it, I'm still not going back on that thing. And so, I think a lot of us are just kind of baffled by this whole situation. Then you see Elon selling billions of dollars of Tesla stock, and it's dude, what? What are we doing here, man? For Twitter, of all the companies that are so cheap, are you kidding me? And with the type of money Elon Musk has, does he? The type of social network he could build with the type of money he has and the type of team he could put together, But anyways, that's just my situation. So anyways, guys, much love as always. Hope you enjoy this and have a great day.